for start of game. We're set.
I'm sorry, but these wrong answer of the game sponsors, these can't be real, yes? They're absurd. Look, if the price tag is high enough, I'll say whatever the hell you want, but I mean, come on.
Do you think you can cover just the last half of my shift for me?
Yeah, like 4 hours?
Yeah, that'd be great. All you have to do is just check IDs when people come in, and if anyone's rowdy, just cuff them and put them in our holding cell.
Oh, okay. I'm like 105 pounds and I'm 5'2".
Yeah, that's great. Here's some handcuffs. Here's some mace. Well, it's a mace bottle. I've used most...
This is You Don't Know Jack 2015. I'm your host, Cookie Masterson. And hey, wipe that smile off your face. This is serious. Okay, just kidding. There will be farts and stuff. I bet you two are going to find this game very challenging. Don't ask me how I know. There are your screws to get you started. You can force another player to answer immediately by hitting your screw button. If they miss it, you win extra bonus dollars. And today's wrong answer of the game is brought to you by
The San Francisco Otter Choir. Free concerts every Wednesday, except for mating season.
If you happen to find our sponsor's wrong answer of the game, you'll be rewarded with big prizes and cash. Okay, let's hit it.
Get ready, time for question 1.
Right off the top, Bootyful. Let's analyze one of Kim Kardashian's body parts. About what percentage of Kim Kardashian's brain is just made up of water? 10%, 40%, 80%, or 100%? Player 2, get out of here! Seriously, get out of here. Player 1, Kim Kardashian's brain, and everybody else's brain for that matter, is made up of about 80% water. But that other 20% is just so round and firm, I can't stop thinking about it.
Oh, Mama gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you so.
And now, his acting is alright. So, you know how they called Matthew McConaughey's resurgence as an actor his McConaissance? Well, if Matthew McConaughey is currently experiencing a McConaissance, then what period of his life just ended? The McCona Dark Ages? The McCona Industrial Age? The McCona Middle Ages? Or the McCona Enlightenment Age? Player 1. Player 2. The Renaissance first occurred in Italy in the late 14th century, immediately following the Middle Ages. So the McConaissance would follow the McCona Middle Ages. Which is funny because most Renaissance sculptures also need to put on a damn shirt.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
This one's known as brought to you by the letter Unibrow.
It's the put the choices into order, then buzz in and see if you are right. Question.
And if you get this one right, I'll rustle up some extra moolah for you. Arrange these Sesame Street characters in order of fewest to most eyebrows. Bert, Ernie, the Count. Ernie, Bert, the Count. Bert, Ernie, the Count. The Count, Bert, Ernie, or Ernie, the Count, Bert. Player 2. Huh? Player 1. Here's what a right answer looks like. Ernie has no eyebrows at all, Bert has one long single eyebrow, and the Count has two eyebrows! And yet, none of them have ever blinked. Take a stab at Duck, Duck, Swan. Say the cast of Duck Dynasty attends a performance of Swan Lake and thinks there are real waterfowl on stage. In their confusion, which character would they most likely shoot? Siegfried, Benno, Von Rothbart, or Odette? Player 1. Player 2. Odette is a princess who has been turned into a swan, so the Duck Dynasty crew would probably fill her full of lead. Especially if they find out she once fooled around with a lady swan in college.
5 fingers!
Next, the man in the backwards yellow hat, and it's a dis or dat. Player 1. You're in last place, so I choose you to play this dis or dat. I'm going to read off 7 things, and for each one you tell me if it's an alleged antic by pop star Justin Bieber, or an antic by the classic children's book character Curious George. If it's Justin Bieber, press the square button. If it's Curious George, press the circle button. Player 2. Choose your answer before Player 1, and if Player 1 gets it wrong and you get it right, that cash is yours. We good? Here we go. Peed in a mop bucket. Broke his leg falling from a fire. Arrested for falsely reporting. Egged a house. Got high on ether. Fed a bugle to an ostrich. Went to a Brazilian brothel. You were a couple of bananas short of a bunch. I think we can all agree that it's time for that little bastard to get deported. And then it's your turn, Bieber. That's round 1. Don't forget, all the questions in round 2 are worth double. And hint, hint, big cash prizes can be yours if you find the wrong answer to the game. Enough small talk. Next up, Dumber and Dumberer 2. So there's Dumb and Dumber, and then there was Dumb and Dumberer, and then Dumb and Dumber 2. Makes perfect sense. Now, going back a few decades, there was The Odd Couple and The Odd Couple 2. So, if another remake of The Odd Couple used the superlative adjective, it would be called The Blank Couple. Odd, odder, oddest, or odderest. Player 2. Odd is the adjective, odder is the comparative adjective, and oddest is the superlative adjective. But of course, everyone who made the original Odd Couple movies is dead, which means it's the perfect time for Rob Schneider to swoop in and revitalize the franchise. Player 1. No, but speaking of otter, get it? You just won the greatest hits of the San Francisco Otter Choir. Hailed as one of the top 3 otter choirs in the world, the San Francisco Otter Choir will astound you with their covers of Little Red Corvette and The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Today's wrong answer of the game brings you an extra $8,000. Surprise.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
Coming up, let it go, let it go, let it go. At which temperature would Olaf from the movie Frozen melt and die? 30 degrees Kelvin. Player 2, you've been screwed. You got 5 seconds. 30 degrees is below freezing in Fahrenheit and insanely below freezing in Kelvin and Rankine. But it's pretty balmy in Celsius, about the equivalent of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And I know, blah blah blah, he can magically be saved, but I'm talking about what would happen in the real world to a talking snowman. Player 1, you are now the screwee.
Follow me down to the sea.
Why not try Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus?
Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
first spotted in 1879? Kangaroo, Peanuts, Albert Einstein, or Uranus? Players 1 and 2? That answer has a hole in it. Next time, try this. Albert Einstein was first spotted in 1879, the year he was born. Probably by a midwife or something, over a century after Uranus was discovered and even longer after kangaroos and peanuts. I've heard baby Einstein cried a lot because he left behind some important equations on the uterine wall. Coming up next, wine or lose. If the Washington Redskins rebranded themselves with a non-offensive red-skinned mascot, what could they be called? The Washington Chardonnays, the Washington Malbecs, the Washington Pinot Blancs, or the Washington Rieslings? Players 1 and 2? Chardonnays, Pinot Blancs, and Rieslings are all white-skinned grapes, but the Malbec grape is red. Although to a connoisseur like myself, Malbec is very offensive. Oh yes, I do say that was quite a burn. Here's one for you. I want to lick and roll all night. If Kiss singer Gene Simmons' tongue grew to the average length of an adult giraffe's, how deep into a woman's mouth could he stick it when he kissed her? About 5 inches deep, about 10 inches deep, about 20 inches deep, or about 30 inches? Players 1 and 2? I think at that point it would practically be coming out the other end. Allow me. An adult giraffe's tongue is on average about 18 to 20 inches long. So that's about how deep into a woman's mouth a giraffe-tongued Gene Simmons could stick it. And if Gene Simmons' neck grew to the length of an adult giraffe's, he may not even need women anymore. Welcome to the attack. When you see 2 clues that match, press the X button. 2,000 if you're right. 2,000 gone if you're wrong. And don't forget,
remember the clue.
It's gotta be a match that fits this clue. Your house is made of what? What materials are their houses made from? Good luck. Player 2, I got news for you. If you were trying to lose, you can't even do that well. Here's another late-breaking news item.
You don't know Jack!
I am Cookie Masterson, and I shaved my nipples for this, so let's hurry before it grows back. Like, we need to get moving now. Excuse me, I just had a very clear image of what your love child would look like. You all take care of those screws now. If you think an opponent doesn't know the answer, hit your screw button, and you'll force them to answer immediately. If they miss it, you win big. And our wrong answer of the game is sponsored by
Flavored eye drops. Why let your mouth have all the fun? Flavored eye drops.
Sniff out our sponsor's wrong answer of the game and you'll end up with a great prize and serious cash. Okay, what are we waiting for?
Get ready, time for question.
To get started, Eat, Pray, Die. Which of these Julia Roberts characters would Jack the Ripper have been most likely to savagely murder? Erin Brockovich, Vivian Ward, Tess Ocean, or Liz Gilbert? Player 1. Oh, the humanity! Player 2. This answer is worth Ocean's 0. Were you thinking of this one? Vivian Ward is the name of the prostitute Julia Roberts plays in Pretty Woman, and almost all of serial killer Jack the Ripper's alleged victims were female prostitutes, so he'd probably have just loved to murder her. I can see it now. He'd open the box with his knife in it, she'd reach in and he'd playfully shut it, snapping her fingers. She'd laugh, he'd laugh, then he'd kill her.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do! Tell you so!
I call this one, If I Only Had a Brain Trust. Suppose the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz faced off against the Wicked Witch of the West in a public debate. If he wanted to use a straw man argument against her, what might he do? Attack the Wicked Witch's character rather than the issues? Misrepresent the Wicked Witch's position on the issues? Prove the Wicked Witch wrong using statistical data? Or interrupt the Wicked Witch before she finishes her points? Player 2? What a pity. Player 1. Hey, remember when the Scarecrow says the sum of the square roots of any two sides of an isosceles triangle is equal to the square root of the remaining side? Yeah, he was actually wrong. So you guys have that in common. Remember when the Scarecrow says the sum of the square roots of any two sides of an isosceles triangle is equal to the square root of the remaining side? Yeah, he was actually wrong. So you guys have that in common. The correct answer is, a straw man argument purposefully misrepresents an opponent's position in order to strike it down. Here's how I would debate the Wicked Witch. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the two candidates you see here tonight is a Wicked Witch. Thank you, I yield the rest of my time.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
Open wide for Getting Naughty. And this dis or dat leg's being tied up. Player 1. I want you to play this dis or dat since you're behind at the moment. I'm gonna read off 7 names, and for each one you tell me if it's the name of a necktie knot or the name of a sex position recommended by Women's Health magazine. If it's a necktie knot, press the square button. If it's a sex position, press the circle button. Player 2. Lock in your answer before Player 1, because if Player 1 gets it wrong and you get it right, you steal the cash. Alright, let's get started. The Half Windsor. The Valedictorian. The Prince Albert. The Trinity. The Caboose. The Chairman. The Four in Hand. It appears your score likes to be on bottom. My usual sex position is also the way I usually tie a tie, alone in front of a mirror. Say hello to. Shop till everyone drops. Say at Christmas time, every single item at your local mall sells out. According to a popular Grimm fairy tale, which of these stores has the best chance to be magically stocked overnight by hardworking elves? Foot Locker, Radio Shack, Victoria's Secret, or Lens Crafters? Here's where the money is. In the Grimm fairy tale, The Elves and the Cobbler, a poor shoemaker is given some much-needed help by elves who appear in the middle of the night. And while the shoemaker made a nice profit, the elves were trampled to death on Black Friday. Players 1 and 2, I think your vision's blurred. But clear your eyes tastefully with these flavored eye drops. All those in flavor, say aye. You'll be happy to know this wrong answer. The game comes with $4,000. Congrats. Take a good look at Okia Dokia. If you're driving between company headquarters, which trip should be the shortest? IKEA to Kia, Kia to Nokia, Nokia to IKEA, or IKEA, Nokia, and Kia headquarters are exactly the same distance apart. Player 2, watch that clock. Player 1. Whoa, whoa! It's so obvious. Nokia is based in Finland, and IKEA is based right next door in Sweden. Kia is based in South Korea. Whether it's phones, furniture, or cars, if it's got Kia in the name, you know it's gonna be cheap. I mean inexpensive. Inexpensive! Round 1 is in the books. Keep in mind, all the prizes are doubled in round 2. And don't be afraid to use those screws. I didn't hand them out for my health. Here's one I like to call Muscle Milk Was a Bad Choice. Say the news team from the Anchorman films decides to run a relay race against a rival news team. If Ron Burgundy is his team's anchor, when will he run? Before Brick, Brian, and Champ? After Brick and Brian, but before Champ? Before Brian and Champ, but after Brick? Or after Brick, Brian, and Champ? Player 2.
Whoa! Oh, that was nice.
Player 1. In a relay race, the anchor, usually the fastest runner, goes last. And they would probably promote the race so incessantly that by the time it actually took place, you wouldn't be that interested in seeing it anymore.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
And on its way, guess who's Dak? Dak again. You know, I'm not an optimist, but I have to say, I feel like things have been going pretty well with the game so far.
Son, Daddy forgot about me.
Oh no, my old ventriloquist puppet, Billy O'Brien.
One's made of skin, one's made of wood, so who's the dummy?
Not me.
Billy, the whole creative team here decided to not include you in this game because you're too much of a troublemaker.
Troublemaker? Me? No, I just got back from traveling the world, studying all the profound teachings of titular world spiritual leaders. For instance, which titular religious group was founded by someone with the last name of Smith? Protestants, Episcopalians, Trustitarians, or Nornuns?
Player 2. Ow. Player 1.
And you've been excommunicated.
Want to see the right answer? The Mormon religion was founded in the 1800s by Joseph Smith.
In America.
So, which was your favorite religion you studied?
Well, I particularly like the ones that treats about reincarnation. Someday, I hope to come back as a beautiful coffee table.
Follow me down to the sea.
Try this on for size. Orcas 11. Say I wanted to go around freeing the killer whales from every SeaWorld location in the world. How many separate rescue missions would I need to go on? 3 rescue missions, 4 rescue missions, 5 rescue missions, or 6 rescue missions? Player 1. Player 2. Hate to disappoint you, but wait, no I don't. Smart people choose this. There are 3 SeaWorlds, 1 in San Diego, 1 in San Antonio, and 1 in Orlando. So you would need to go on 3 separate rescue missions. Well, that sounds like a lot of traveling. Maybe I'll just pay that kid from Free Willy to do it. Something tells me he could use the cash. This one's called Kangaroo Peanuts, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
Kangaroo Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
The name of Jeff Dunham's purple-skinned puppet. Kangaroo Peanuts, Albert Einstein, or Uranus. Player 2. Player 1. His name is Peanut. I have to admit, people who talk through ventriloquist puppets kinda creep me out.
That you talk through me.
Quiet, Billy. Stop trying to get me to kill people.
Whoa, now you're creeping me out, man.
Bucker up for the midnight run to the bathroom. According to Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, how would Paul Revere secretly signal to you that he has to pee in the sea? I have to do a number 1 in a 1. I have to do a number 1 in a 2. I have to do a number 1 in a 3. Or, I have to do a number 2 in a 1. Player 2, watch the time. Player 2. Player 1. According to Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poem, Paul Revere's Ride, Paul's signal for the British was 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. And as we all know, a number 1 is a P. And Americans would have known about the British sooner if he hadn't stopped for a number 4. You don't even want to know what that is. Step right up to the Jack Attack. When you... Well, don't mind me then. Here's your clue. This plus this equals that. What new thing do these combine to make? Good luck. Takes it. Player One, I knew you could do it. I had faith in you from the very beginning. I told everyone, I said, Player One will eventually get to the end of this game. Thanks for not letting me down. Oh, here, I got you something.
You don't know